this video, I am going to show you 10 design features you need to stop using if you truly want a modern and a premium Ghana home in the year 2026. We are barely some few days from 2026 and you don't want to miss out on this. I am Ifia Fosua, a project manager at Build a Risk Construction. We design, we build, we renovate, and finish premium and modern homes in Ghana. Let's start immediately. Design feature number one that you completely want to avoid, please, has to do with having too many colors on the exteriors of your house. When a house uses 4 or 5 different colors on the front elevation, it instantly looks too busy. And busy ages faster. You haven't even moved into the house, but already within some few years, you wouldn't like the outlook of the house. It doesn't look premium. It takes out the premiumness of the house. This, for example, are some of our designs. And pay attention to how we stick between 1 to 2 colors. You have your primary color, the main color, we have a secondary color, then maybe a subtle accent just to, add some premiumness to the design. And that's all we do. If you go above that, you have too many colors in the exterior and it doesn't really come out well as you really would want it to. So stick to 2 or 3 colors and you're good to go. Now, design feature number 2 has to do with having an over-designed facade. Some of these facades, the curves, you have fake columns, you have multiple textures, you have mixed designs all in one building. Well, while it's not a bad idea to want to have, the design, the home design of your dreams and all of that, you also need to take into consideration that having more facades on a building increases the cost. It creates visual noise, particularly when you're not able to execute or you do not get strong hands to execute the building's design as expected. And such houses never age well. I am yet to see a house that has, all of these curves, multiple textures, multiple styles mixed in here and there that look good after, the first 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. They don't really age well. What then is the advice? The advice is very simple, that you stick to clean lines, simple geometry, two-tone finishes. Okay, if you want to have, some color in there, don't go above 3 colors. Stick to the two-tone finishes. They are easier to maintain. It doesn't run out of style easily. Over the years, you can repaint, turn around a few things here and there. And your house would still look good, as you can see on the screen over here. Let's move on to design feature number 3, and that has to do with stainless steel railings. Well, these used to feel modern, we have them in our parents' houses, our aunties' houses, our uncles' houses, but they belong in offices and malls and not homes. So in homes, railings should be very simple. Take these black railings, for instance, beautiful polish, they are clean, they are nice, and they give, a much more premium feel to the space than we saw with the stainless steel railings. So you would want to take that into consideration as well. Design feature number 4, let's go to the kitchen now, where all the delicious meals are made. Now, kitchen, one of the biggest mistakes I see is having too many cabinet colors. One, having glossy finishes everywhere. 2, then I have also seen instances where people do backsplashes that have too many patterns in them. I have spoken about this in some of our past videos, and you would want to pay attention to that as well. When you have all of these things running in your kitchen, it doesn't look good over the years, or rather, should I say, it makes your house feel like it was built in the 80s. Imagine you built a house just 5 years ago, 2 years ago, but then we enter and already the space is feeling as though it was built in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s. That's not what you want. So if you want to have that premium feel so far as your spaces are concerned, the recommendation is very simple, that you can stick, if you want to blend the colors. I think it also depends on who's doing it for you. Okay, so preferably we would advise that you stick to a color or two. um, Simple finishes, clean lines, as you can see on the screen right here. If you're watching and you are currently building, you're renovating, you're finishing your home, this is exactly the kind of finish, the kind of design, the kind of renovations that we help people with, so far as your spaces and their houses are concerned. And we can help you get exactly what you want. All you need to do is to just reach out to us. Our number is on the screen, +233 531 868 215, and we're glad to talk to you about your home renovation project, your design, your building projects, and everything included. Now let's move on to design feature number 5, and that has to do with having small bathroom floor tiles. Now the bathrooms are a truly big one, and anytime I see these in some bathrooms, I am never happy about them. Okay. Small bathroom tiles mean you're going to have too many joints. They're very hard to clean. They don't look good over time. They make the house look as though they were built years ago. But let's switch to bigger tiles and note the difference. When you have larger tiles, they feel more cleaner, more modern, they are easier to maintain over the period. I have actually gone, because of our work again, you see all shapes and kinds of houses. For a lot of the houses that we have sometimes worked in past, renovated in past, particularly with the ones that were well constructed with professionals. You walk in there, when you walk into a space and the work was done by a professional, you can just tell. And you can walk into a space, a house was built say 10 years ago, but you walk into the space and it still feels, you can still feel that premiumness in the house. Maybe a few things that you need to change with regard to the, you know, the sinks, replace the sinks, the faucet, and already the space is looking all clean and nice again. So please stay away from small towels, towels with so many patterns in there. And come to think of it, I feel some of these towels, when you even enter the bathroom, makes you feel dizzy. I don't know if it's just an observation with me, but you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. How do you feel when you walk into a bathroom and then it has so many patterns? The tile is so busy as compared to a bathroom where the tile is less busy. It's clean, neutral tones. The space is warm, welcoming, relaxing already. Like, compare the two. So which side do you want to be? Now, the second has to do with, or the seventh point has to do with heavy POP ceilings. Now, when you have a POP ceiling that has multiple layers, curves, patterns, they used to be popular, when our grandfathers and our fathers and our aunties were building. But now we are moving away from that. What are we moving to? Okay, we are moving to ceilings that have that are cleaner, that have less patterns and designs and curves in them. It doesn't look bulky and heavy as though it's about to collapse on your head and all that. They're easier to maintain, beautiful recessed lights in there, easier to maintain and clean over the period. So stick to these ones and then you're good to go. Let's move on to the next feature. The next feature has to do with wall panels. I see a lot of videos where people are doing all forms of shapes and designs when it comes to their wall panels. It gives the house a certain feel, but where I think it doesn't work well is when you go in for a wall panel where there are so many patterns. They go up quickly, and they even age up very faster. So what then is a recommendation? The recommendation is that you stick to plain walls if possible. And when you decide to go for a wall panel, going for something that has clean lines, subtle modeling, not too busy. It works well with the space. Look at how this one, for instance, feel. Compare this one to the previous one that I showed you. You can tell there's a massive or a big difference in there. So you would want to pay attention to the kind of wall panels that you're going for, if that's the preference or if that's the choice you want to make. Next point, let's move on to white wall switches. Okay, they're very small detail, but then they make a big impact. They work here. We all have lived in that house that had, some of these switches here and there, but visually, the thing about white wall switches and sockets is that they cheapen the space. So what then is the alternative? The recommendation is to go in for black, gray, or smart systems. It's an upgrade that makes a very big difference as far as your spaces are concerned. Next point, let's talk about floor tiles. Glossy floor tiles, they reflect too much light. It makes the place feel busy. The recommendation so far as your floor tiles are concerned is that you stick to what? You stick to your large format tiles. The matte tiles, they feel calmer, it makes the room look bigger, and they don't age as quickly as the glossy floor tiles. Okay, so that makes it. Now, for the floor tiles, now let's move on to the very last point, and that has to do with the kind of chandeliers you choose for your spaces, especially your living area. Now, I realize, or you walk into some houses and you see heavy chandeliers. Most homes don't look old because they are old. They don't look old because they were bought or built in the 90s or in the 80s or 70s. No, these very, very small things. Look at this chandelier, for instance. It makes it's making the room feel heavy, outdated. Modern homes need lightness. Okay, so you can have your small pendant light, you can have your recessed lighting there, clean, easy to maintain, beautiful, easy to clean. Look at these heavy chandeliers. Can you imagine cleaning these things? Very, very heavy. And imagine sitting under this chandelier, almost as though it's about to hit your head. Look at how pointed and heavy it looks on that ceiling. You don't want that. It takes away the premium feel. It takes away something from the house. And in 2026, we definitely didn't want that for our spaces. So stick to the pendant lights. We have a lot of modern ones on the market now. And of course, if you're dealing with aspects like us, we know where to buy. We know where to source all of these modern premium things you need for your house. And so by the time we are done, the space looks premium. It has a modern feel. Your house wouldn't age after 5 years, 10 years. It will still look very clean and nice and tidy. And it's good for the value of your house, good for the investments. So you can resell, you can rent out, you can pass on to your children. It's a long-term investment. And so when you're making investment decisions like this, you often would want to do one that would last you decades, generations over generations. So here's a takeaway. Most homes, like I said, don't look old, okay? They don't look old because they were built in the 70s and 80s. They look old because of the design decisions. And a lot of these design decisions, when put together, the tiles, the chandeliers, the wall panels, the switches, you're choosing the kind of cabinets, tiles, all of these things put together can either make a house look premium after some few years, or it would look old, barely some few months or years after you have moved into the house. So if you're building, if you're renovating, if you're finishing your home and you want us to correct some mistakes, maybe your home needs a refurbishment, it needs renovation, you can renovate your house get it ready, put it out on the market and rent it out and make some money. And that's one thing we've been talking to our clients about. Rather than have that house sitting there, maybe you inherited it, it's a family house, nobody lives in there. How about you talk to us? We renovate that space and then you can rent it out and then you make some money. The family makes some money. It's better than leaving it there to rust and gather cockroaches and cobwebs and all of those. You don't want that. So if you're looking to build, design, renovate, and finish your home, please talk to us. We have our number on the screen. Just send us a message. We're glad to talk to you about your spaces and how we can add some premiumness so far as your spaces are concerned. Our number +233 531 868 215. You can check out our other videos on the screen as well. We have more videos on the channel. My name is Sophia Fosua, project manager at Builderx Construction. Please send us a message on our WhatsApp and we are glad to discuss your project with you. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like the video. If this is the first time you're joining us, please do subscribe to the channel and you're welcome to the Builderx Construction family. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.